Hi, everybody. Welcome. My name is Sarah, and welcome to the Bookish Knitter. I always am weirded out on how to start these live streams. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out exactly how to set my camera and laptop and all that good stuff. So, hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Very casual Saturday. Some reading sprints, some chatting. That's pretty much my game plan for today. We're going to do this again next Saturday as well. And it's going to be at 6 o'clock at night Eastern Standard Time. So just so that you guys are aware of what time everything is going to be. I did hashtag this Amish in April, but you don't have to be reading Amish books here to be participating in the chat or in the reading sprints or anything like that. So the way I think I'm going to work it, I'm going to try and get this till like 3 o'clock. My husband's watching the hockey game, so he's busy. And I thought, why not sit and chat with you guys, do some reading sprints, what have you. So it's going to be like 20 minutes of chat and then 20 minutes of reading. That's my game plan here. Jump in and out at your leisure. We might have a couple of guests. Storm from Storm Reads may pop on at some point as maybe Elizabeth from Lizzie Faye Loves Books. But it's Saturday. People are busy on Saturdays. That's just the way it goes. So, yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys are reading this afternoon. Are you like me and jumping between a bunch of books? Technically, I've got 5 books on the go right now, but I will not be reading Gone with the Wind today, or during these sprints, I should say. But 3 out of the 4 books are Amish themed books, if you will. And then I will be, of course, diving back into Pride, Prejudice, and Other Flavors. I just started that one yesterday. But anyway, let's jump into the comments. Hello, everybody. So, finishing Stirring the Pot by Darrow Wood. Is that a cozy mystery? Probably. Courting Can Be Killer by Amanda Flower at 84%. Fantastic. That is part of the Amish matchmaking series, right? I really need to get into that series. Listening to Murder in Plain Sight by Marta Perry. On my walk this morning, I'm loving it. Therese Plummer's the narrator. She's fantastic. Yes. Murder in Plain Sight, I have read. Marta Perry, I'm a big, big fan. Fantastic choice. Hospitality and Homicide, a tourist trap mystery number 8. Excellent, excellent. Hello. Hi everyone. It's morning listen time uh with the Mister, and we'll be listening to Aliens Bug Hunt. Ooh, that sounds interesting. What else have we got here? Oh, where I just jumped a whole bunch. Okay, there we go. Hi, Mama. How are you doing? Send congratulations to Melissa. First time mom. Monday, right, my dear? Monday? Oh, bless your heart. Congratulations again. Um, Reading Murder Simply Stitched by Isabel Allen, the second in the Amish Quilt Shop. This is book 3 of 3 that I'm reading for Amish in April. Fantastic. So I finished one book so far for Amish in April. I only finished one. It was the Kate Burkholder, which was so good. Oh my gosh. Spoiler alert for this week's vlog. The Dead Will Tell, I think, is my favorite in the series so far. I think it's book number 6. So I've read that one, and I've got 3 on the go right now. And I think I'm hoping to get one more done. I'm not too sure. So we shall see. Hello, hello. Hi. What have we got here? Good morning, Pacific Coast time. A Rule Against Murder by Louise Penny, number 4. Canadian author, Canadian setting, to my understanding. Reading Dawn by Octavia Butler. You're going to be doing a live show with Aaron and a couple other people. Am I correct in that one? Yes, that series is so good. It's a cozy mystery. I'm reading Lethal Licorice by Amanda Flower. That's the second book, right? The second book. Ellie Alexander's A Cup of Holiday Fear. Oh, I do love a good holiday themed cozy. I am reading one as well right now. I am reading, actually, for the first sprint, when we start the first sprint in about 15 minutes or so, I will be reading Premeditated Peppermint by Amanda Flower, the third book in the Amish Candy Shop Mystery Series. So, yeah. So that is fun. That is fun. Yes, congratulations. Um, reading the Visitor Book 4 in the Graveyard Queen series by Amanda Stevens. Yes, she has. She has written a lot of books for the intrigue line. I have a bunch of her old intrigues, and she's still writing. I don't know whether she took a break from Harlequin or not, but I don't remember seeing her name for a number of years. And then recently she has started writing for them again. So I am super, super happy because she's a fabulous, fabulous author. But I do want to read that series. Monday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard. A little bit late for me. Afternoon from England. Hello, hello. Feeding him and using the new Kindle to read a Civil War historical romance. Ooh, what are we reading? So I went to the library today and I was thinking about you, my dear, because I have enough damn books to read, but I still like going to the library. And I grabbed this one. And I need to read this in May. The Yankee Widow by Linda Lael Miller. I am so excited. I'm such a big fan of her contemporary cowboy books that this is a historical fiction, and I am very excited. Anyone who's read this one, let me know your thoughts on it, because I am very, very interested. So do you want to see what else I got from the library? Okay. Since you all said sure. I got this one by Jill Mansell. It started with a secret. I think she is a UK author. This might be like a chick lit kind of an idea. I don't know. So I got that one. I had to drop books off at the library, so I decided to pick some books up. We have Passport to Happiness by Carrie Stone. This one says on Goodreads, it says it's a cross between Eat, Pray, Love and Bridget Jones. So I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. The great thing about the library is like you can pick up a book and go, that one looks okay. I think I'll try it out. And even if it's no good, it didn't cost you anything because it came from the library. And then I got Million Love Songs by Carol Matthews, which just all these, except for the Yankee Widow, they just all kind of screamed summer, which I think I need right now, especially, that we're getting into the summer season. Slowly but surely. All right. Sorry if you guys can hear the screaming. My brother is here with his kids. Is that what happened? Oh, thank you for letting me know that, Amy. Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that about her. Yes. Hello, Nikki. Yay, I'm glad that you made it. So yay. I'm so glad that you guys are all here. This is going to be a lot of fun, I think. Let me see what we have here. Jumping Between Hide in Plain Sight by Marta Perry for Amish in April, and The Historian by Elizabeth Kostova, that say that Dracula has developed a mysterious for a library. Ooh, that's not a historical fiction, is it? That one sounds interesting. Oh, okay. Yeah, I had a feeling anything Civil War, I'm sure, was completely on your radar that you have read. So yeah, I am looking forward to it. It's been on. You know what the funny thing is? I borrowed it from the library on hardcover, but I'd almost bet money I have a copy of it in paperback. But I don't like the paperback edition of it. Like I've seen it, and I just don't like the cover. I like the hardcover better. Sorry for the light. It's a little weird today. It doesn't know what it wants to do outside. It's been raining and unpleasant and all of those things. So yeah, we had a bit of a busy morning. I had to go pick up medication at Walmart, which is always fun. And yeah, so But anyway, guys, let me know if you are participating in Amish in April. How's your reading been? I know it literally like just started on Tuesday, but I was encouraging everybody to read it to read Amish books since the beginning. Elizabeth is here. Yay! Hold on. There she is.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I just got out of the car at Emily's with me. Hi, you want to say hi?
Hi.
My other daughter, Katie, went to find this farmer's market. We're up in Winter Park, Florida. And so I won't stay on very long, but I may pop in and out. But I just started reading an Amish book in the car, and I left it in the car. So let me turn off the camera and let me run and get it so I can show you guys I read 3 chapters on the way
Ooh.
here. So give me a second.
Yeah.
I don't know how to even turn off the camera. Here we go.
There you go. So yeah, I read the Kate Burkholder, and I also read the one that I was doing for the group read, the Joanne Brown, the one that takes place in Prince Edward Island. I liked it. I did hear from a couple people that it wasn't everybody's cup of tea, and that's fine. We're not going to discuss that here because I know people are still reading it, but my goal is that next week during the live show we're going to discuss that book. So, just so everybody is aware. Um Hello, excited I'll be reading this Tender Land. Excellent. I've heard a lot about that one. Yes, hello to Elizabeth. With this pledge by Tamara Alexander. That sounds interesting. These 2 books for Amish in April, but I'm behind my reading. I've heard a lot of people say that this month, that they're not reading as much as they have in months earlier. Reading's been great. Been reading all the Amanda Flower Amish series this month. Yeah, you're a series binger, aren't you? So I'm amazed by you people who can be series bingers. That's not my jam, unfortunately. The Amish there's an Amish cupcake series? Cute and amusing. Okay, I read that as a I thought that you wrote it was cute and confusing. Like, oh no, wait, cute and amusing. It was more Amish adjacent than Amish. Yeah, that's fair. And that's like a term that I've been using a lot. And I'm finding a lot of that with this one as well. A deputy in Amish country, that it's more Amish adjacent, literally, because they live next door to an Amish couple. But that's fine. I mean, it's still got Amish in it, and I think that's good enough. Um I only had 3 books on my Amish in April TBR this year, so I started on the 19th. That gave me plenty of time. That's excellent. Yeah, I think there's one I'm not gonna get to. I may not get to because the month is very quickly coming to a close, you guys. Like, this is the second last Saturday of the month, including today, we only have 8 days left. So, yeah, I've got a lot that I still wanna finish. I wanna finish these 4 books that I'm currently working on. I'm not getting Gone with the Wind done by the end of the month, let's be realistic. And the one that was picked for me in the pick my weekend read, uh, was Isn't It Bromantic by Alyssa K. Adams. So I will be reading this one as well, and I can't wait. But I have it on audio, so that's fantastic. Audio is the best thing ever. Oh, there's Elizabeth again. Let's try this again. There she is.
Sorry, I
Technical difficulties.
accidentally signed out. So, but I could hear you. I could hear what you were talking about. Yeah, I missed most of the live stream last night. And what were you guys talking about? About series binging? Like because you like series, you just don't binge them all at once,
I
right?
know I can't read one after another because I start to get annoyed with the characters. I'm like, I need a break from them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I can do it on audio if I'm really loving it. And if I'm reading in print, I'm so slow anyway that, you know, it's fine. I usually don't do it that much just because I have so many things pulling at me that I don't have the option.
Yeah.
But I wanted to show you what I started reading. This is Love Inspired Suspense,
Yep.
and it's by Kit Wilkinson. It looks like it's going to be the first in a series, but so far there's not anymore, and so maybe she planned to write one, but it's from July of 2012. But it's called Plain Target, and I read 3 chapters. It's going quick because it's larger print and there's only 20 chapters. So I read those three chapters in the car on the way here. But it's really good so far. It starts right out action packed. There's a murder at the very beginning, and then it's about an Amish, a man who kind of like Kate Burkholder in that he's formerly Amish. He was raised Amish, and he had been in love with this Amish girl, who then apparently, so far in the story, she started working for as a nanny for a man with a daughter, and then she ended up marrying him and kind of jilting the boyfriend, who then he sort of took that as a sign that he should leave the Amish, so he goes into the city and becomes a police officer. So now her stepdaughter, who's 17 and was on Rumspringa, the stepmother finds her murdered in the barn. And of course they're Amish, so they don't want the police to be involved. They want to just hush it up. But somehow the governor is involved. And so he wants this man who used to be former Amish to go and investigate, but they don't want to be investigated. Meanwhile, it's like this is his old girlfriend who he doesn't want to go see because,
Yeah.
old feelings. So, I mean, already in 3 chapters, it's really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And so now we find out that the brother-in-law, I guess it's kind of a thing. I guess it was kind of a biblical thing too. Like if your brother dies, because she's widowed now, and if
Hmm.
your brother dies, then the brother is supposed to marry the wife or whatever.
Yeah.
And so he thinks that's his place, and he's very controlling Amish man. I'm sorry,
Hmm.
I'm doing the thing wrong. Anyway, I'm finding it very intriguing. It's love inspired suspense, and I've never heard of this author before. So yeah, 2000
That's
and 2012 is when it
Yeah,
came
she
out.
didn't write a ton for Love and Spy. I don't think she wrote a ton in general. I have a couple of her books, but that's
Okay.
the beauty that of category, in my opinion, is the page count is so small. You've got to drive the story so quickly with
Hmm.
a
Hmm.
category book. You know what I mean? Like you said,
Yeah,
like it gets
and
right
that's
into the
great.
action.
That's
Yeah.
great because it just keeps you. Action just keeps happening. Yeah. So no sooner had he showed up at her house and they said hello, than someone from the woods starts shooting at him.
Yeah.
It's like what? And that's at the end of the first chapter. So it's like, wow, this is great. So
I'm
yeah,
invested now.
I know completely. So I think it's going to be a quick read, and for me, that's saying something because in
Hmm.
print I generally don't read that fast. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I've already read 3 chapters out of 20, so I might
Oh
get
yeah,
done with it
you'll
by
fly through that.
weekend.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, they're great books.
awesome.
What else have we got here? Yep, another binge series reader. Yes, the cover of this one just, I don't know what it is. It's just the cutest little cover, with that little Amish girl, and she's a little hoot in the book. She keeps coming over to their house and like, "What's the microwave do? Can I press the buttons?" and blah blah blah. You could just imagine
Fun.
this little Amish girl not knowing any of these things, right?
And she's like
Um
fascinated by the technology.
Exactly. She wants to pet the horses and. Kay is on their fifth Amish book. Good for you. Awesome. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for participating, everybody.
I guess this is
Uh,
my fourth one of the month. I
okay.
listened to the first Amish matchmaker mystery at the beginning of the month, just to sort of
Mm-hmm.
kick off the month, and then I started reading Deborah Torres' second book, and she's the author that I
Yes.
interviewed on Tuesday. So I just finished her book yesterday, and it was
Oh,
great.
wonderful.
And then I had also at the same time I listened to a couple of other audiobooks for book club and stuff, and then
Mm-hmm.
I picked back up with the second matchmaker book by Amanda Flower, which I said last
Mm-hmm.
night that I had just finished. So I went ahead and started the third one. It's only 3 books in the series, so
Yeah.
definitely want to just go ahead and binge those and get those done.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I'm going to pick up a couple of Vanetta Chapman books. I think in your was it your video where you talked about some of Vanetta Chapman's series, or she's got a
Yep.
bunch of trilogies. I didn't know she had that many, and you didn't even mention the one that I'm reading, so she's got even more. But the one with the coffee cup on the front, I want to pick that one up at some point. But the one I'm
Yeah.
reading now is the Shipshawana, uh,
Okay.
set in Shipshawana, Illinois. My sister read
Mm-hmm.
them, and she's like, "I love these. They're faith based, but also they do include a murder, which
Mm-hmm.
you don't often see that combo. A lot of times in faith based cozy mysteries, it's just something like burglary or
Yes.
you know, something that's not involving
Mm-hmm.
murder. But the Shipshawana ones do involve murder, so that's kind of a good mix of things. So I did listen to the first one last year and really enjoyed it. So I'm going to go ahead and try to uh, listen to the other 2 of those this year as
Yeah.
well before I get onto my Beverly Lewis binge, where I'm planning to binge a 5 book series on audio.
There you go.
Yeah,
Audio's fine. Yeah, no,
yeah.
I'm starting the second book in the Amish Village series, which is similar because it is again more faith-based.
Uh
There's
huh.
a big romance element in it, but oh, guess what? Some guy was killed with a crossbow at the beginning. And I'm like,
Okay.
okay,
Now,
you know?
is that the one where she's holding a cup of coffee on the cover?
And this is I'm reading Murder Simply or Murder Tightly Knit. So I'm reading the
Okay.
second one.
It's the
Murder
same
Simply
series though,
Brewed is
right?
the first one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's the coffee tie-in? Is she
It's a
does she run
coffee
a
shop.
restaurant?
The
Coffee
first book
shop?
it takes place in a coffee shop. The second one, it's this entire Amish village So the
Mhm.
first one's the coffee shop. The second one is the knitting store. And the
Okay.
third book, I think, is like a bread store or something like that.
Hmm. Neat.
So they're all like a village in this like little
Okay.
Amish village. Yeah, they're
Fun.
really, really cute. Really
Fun.
cute.
Yeah, I definitely want to
Yeah,
get to those. But I figured since I've started this other trilogy and my sister
might as
sent them to
well.
me, I may as well finish that first. So maybe next year I'll tackle the Murder Simply Brewed. That
For
sounds fun.
next year's Amish in April, we're
Yeah.
pre-planning.
Oh, I know. Because literally every year there are exponentially more Amish books
I
added.
know. I
And,
know.
by next year we may have to make it a whole month. I don't know if I
I think
want
we
to,
should.
but we might.
But it doesn't have to be the big thing that,
Oh,
March Mystery Madness is. We can tone it down just a
right.
little bit, but I think it would be fun. Because I
And I've
encourage
heard
everybody
from
to read all month anyway.
Yeah, I've heard from some people that they're reading Amish all month anyway, and they start
Mhm.
at the beginning of the month. So, it's totally up to the reader's choice. So, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah,
So you
Amish
said
adjacent.
Amish adjacent. Did you say you
I love
finished
doing that.
the Linda Castillo book?
I did finish it. It was my favorite so far in the series. It was,
Really?
and the whole
What
time
number?
I'm reading it, I'm like, Elizabeth is not gonna like this. Elizabeth is not gonna like this.
I may not make it that far. I'm just going to pick up book 2. In fact, I already checked it out from the library, and I think it's the one that's called Pray for Silence.
Correct.
Do you
Yeah.
remember book
Yeah.
2? Is it especially gory, or
They all are.
they all
That's the
are?
thing is that and I can hear your voice when she swears, "Foul language, foul language."
But if I know that going in, it's my own
Yeah.
fault. I have no one to blame but myself if I've been fairly warned.
And I think it's and I'm not justifying it, but I think it's not a lot. It's like needed. You know what I mean? Like in that situation.
It fits. Mhm.
Yeah, there was another book I DNF'd this week. It wasn't an Amish book at all, but it was a cowboy contemporary. But it was like they were using the F word just for the sake of using the F word. And
Mhm.
I couldn't handle that. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not. Do you know what
Right.
I mean?
Right. You could
Even that's too
definitely tell
much.
a difference. Definitely a difference.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
time at work, we were watching Shawshank Redemption.
Hmm.
And it's so funny because, I'm always, when I was at work, I was always the church lady at work. But that is such an amazing movie. Well, it's set in a prison, and I didn't even think anything about it. But we had put it in the green room. It was backstage at one of the shows that I used to do a long time ago. So our stage manager was in the office right next to it, and she heard some of the foul language, and she comes out and around, and she's like, "Y'all can't be watching this at work." And I was like, and I was the one that jumped up and defended it, and they were all laughing at me because they were all surprised that I was the one. I was like,
Yeah.
"But it's set at a prison. What do you expect?"
Yeah, exactly.
She's like, "Well, I don't care where it's set. You can't watch this in the green room."
Oh, that's hilarious.
And they were like, "Elizabeth, I can't believe you're the one who jumped up and defending it." But it fit that it was, it fit the movie. So,
And
I
that's
don't
what I
like
think
it,
about with
but
the Kate Burkholder. If someone was holding a gun to my head, I'm not gonna, please, sir, could you not? You know what I mean? It would be like,
that's
But
funny.
yeah, they're
So
so
I don't
good.
know where my daughter Katie went. She went in search of the farmers market, and
Mm.
it says on the back of the building that's behind us, it says farmers market, but we looked in the end of the building, and it's like um, it's like a big space that you could rent. So I don't know if the farmers market is in another part of the building or what, but I'm just enjoying sitting outside. It's a beautiful day.
And
I don't
enjoy,
know what
yeah.
it's like in the weather. I don't know what the weather's like there in Toronto for you, but here in Central Florida, it's a beautiful day.
We've got 14, 40, 44, not quite 50 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay.
We're not
So
quite
that's
50 and it's
pretty warm.
overcast.
Oh, in Fahrenheit. Okay.
Yeah, in
So,
Fahrenheit. Yeah. And your temperature.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's only
That
7
doesn't seem
degrees
too bad.
Celsius.
That's a little chilly, but not unbearable.
No, there's no snow on the ground, which is a good thing. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
no. We
Did
were out this
you
morning.
get
We
the
were
big
running around.
snowstorm that they got out in Saskatchewan and Manitoba? No.
No, we did not get touched with that, thankfully.
Wow.
Winter peg can keep it.
Winter peg.
Winnipeg can keep it.
Yeah, because I heard Janelle from Too Fond of Books and Felicia from Little Prairie Library both talking about, how they were gearing up for it back, I guess around BookTube Spin when that was it was in their BookTube Spin videos. And then Janelle said that they survived it, but it was something like, I don't know, 30 inches of snow or something. It's crazy.
It was ridiculous. Ridiculous. Yeah. No, thank you. That's why I stay in this area. We generally do not get a lot of snow here because of the way we're situated
Mhm.
between the Great Lakes and stuff like that.
Oh,
But
right, right.
yeah, so
You have enough
it's
wind
rare.
that blows it out. I can't see
Pretty much.
if anyone has commented anything that I should see, I'm sorry, you'll have to read it to me because I'm not seeing
You
any
can't
of
see
the
the comment.
chat.
That's okay. Let me see what I got here.
Oops.
Oh, someone's going back and forth between the audiobook of The Love Hypothesis and physically reading Like a Love Story. Melissa actually brought me The Love Hypothesis. I need to get to that one. I'm hoping to get to that one in May. Some good old romance. Binging Bake Shop Mysteries. I have not heard of that series.
Fun. Who's the author?
Yeah, who's the author of that? It's called Levirate Marriage, Obligation to Marry a Brother's Widow. That's what you were talking about, Elizabeth. A Levirate Marriage.
Okay. That's what it's called when the brother...
obligation to marry a brother's widow.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know there's talk of that in biblical times, so that may be where they get that from. So.
And I've heard of that before. Yeah. Amish books on your Kindle. Get to them if you can. And I'm also looking for Amish to read. Oh, okay. Hi, Kim. Between Elizabeth and I, I'm sure we can give you some Amish suggestions.
If you're looking for romance or faith-based romance, you can't go wrong with Beverly Lewis. If you're looking for cozy mysteries, you can't go wrong with Amanda Flower. Those are both good starting points for Amish fiction. Definitely, those are good entryways. Before I forget and before I sign off of here, on my trip to Texas and Oklahoma, when I was in Oklahoma, my sister and brother-in-law were telling me that there was an Amish community near them. So I drove through on my way out and I took some video footage of some of the Amish-owned businesses. So I'm in the process right now of putting together my vlog of my trip. So y'all be on the lookout for that. It'll be coming soon, and there will be some Amish footage tucked in the middle of that. So,
fun.
Just wanted to get that out there, plug that real quick.
Oh, no, that's great. I actually, when I was reading the Joanne Brown one that takes place in PEI in Prince Edward Island, they talk about coming from Ontario, from Aylmer, Ontario, which is the town that my great-grandparents are buried in and where they lived, which is not far from where we live. And I looked up, there's a relatively large Amish community in Aylmer. So I think Garrett and I are going to take a drive out this summer and have a look and see if they have any markets or anything like that in the summertime.
I bet they will.
Yeah.
I bet they do. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's kind of neat to hear of a Canadian area that has the Amish. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, because I didn't really know if there were any Amish in any other countries other than the U.S.
Yeah. So
I have a book called The History of the Amish, and at some point I want to read that and just kind of find out where they came from. I'm guessing maybe Germany, because they speak the German language. So maybe that's where their heritage group is from.
Yeah, no, that would be really interesting.
Yeah.
Added Murder Simply Brewed to your TBR. Yes, the Vanetta Chapman. You can't go wrong with Vanetta Chapman either. Hello, Dramini. Hello. Death Alla Dente by Leslie
Budowitz, I think.
Budowitz, thank you.
I think.
The Bake Shop Mysteries is by Ellie Alexander.
Well, and there are some Amish bake shop mysteries too. That maybe Wanda Brunstetter has a bake shop. Somebody has a Amish bake shop series, and I'll have to look that up. That'll be my homework for this week. So next week when we come on live, I'll let you know.
Yes. Oh,
yeah, but there's one that looks really cute. That's something about whoopie pie. I think that's Wanda Brunstetter.
Okay, yeah. That sounds familiar.
And that makes romance and not mystery.
There's even an Amish settlement in Ireland. Kay says here.
Wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
I would go and do that in Ireland.
Yeah. Neat.
Oh, okay. Amish came primarily from Switzerland, according to a documentary I watched. That's from Greenstick Cottage, she said.
Okay.
Switzerland. I guess they would speak German in Switzerland, though, wouldn't they?
Maybe.
Sure. Because really it's the Pennsylvania Dutch is very, I hate to use the terminology, but bastardized
Uh-huh.
version of German. Like it's not
Okay.
German, it's, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's
Amish are
their
also in South America. Okay, that's interesting. I'm trying to picture South America and Amish
mm,
people in South America.
wow.
That's
So they're all
interesting.
over.
Yeah.
Neat.
It's like when I read that one the first year about Pinecraft in Florida and was just amazed that they have like a vacation destination.
Right. Right. And now, I mean, I've always known there were some in Oklahoma because I remember going to and from my little hometown to where I went to college. There
Mhm,
was just in a small community, there was a sign that had a horse and buggy. And
mhm,
every once in a while, I would pass by one. But that's the only place I ever knew of where there were any. And it's completely in a different, like several hours away, the
mhm.
community where I visited, that's near my sister. And the really interesting thing is I didn't see a single horse and buggy. And I remember that my brother-in-law had said something about their tractors. So I called back to my sister because I went through there on my way out when I was heading back home, and I said I didn't see any horse and buggies. She goes, "Yeah, that's what we were trying to tell you. They only drive tractors now, except on Sundays. They get out their horse and buggies on Sundays to go to church and do their visiting, and they go everywhere else in tractors." And I was like, well, how is that different than a car? It seems a little bit legalistic, but
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. I mean, who am I? Whatever their ordinance allows. But it would be interesting now, and I don't know if any Amish authors have written any books set there, because I don't
Mhm.
know if that's true of other Amish communities. Have they started moving more to tractors to get to and from town, or is that just true
Mhm.
of the area near where my sister lives? So I don't know. It's fun.
That's interesting.
I
That's
know.
really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. And I had pulled off to because I break for all libraries. So the town is Shoto, Oklahoma, and as I was driving trying to find this first business I was going to called the Amish Cheese House,
Mhm.
I passed by the library and I thought, oh, I'll stop in there and see if they have any books for sale because that's just what I do.
Of
And
course.
so I pulled in, and while I was getting out of the car, I heard a tractor coming, and I looked, and I mean, just hauling it down the street was this tractor, and it was being driven by this probably 17, 18-year-old Amish girl in full Amish gear, just driving this tractor roam down the road. And I just thought, this is great. This is too
Yeah.
great. So,
I mean, I guess even they're adapting in a way to,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, yeah.
What was the book I read not that long ago? I read it, I think, earlier this month. I can't remember. Oh yeah, the one that's set in Prince Edward Island. So the two brothers buy this old farmhouse, and they're actually ripping out all of the electrical. And you just think to yourself, when you buy a house, you'd be redoing the electrical, but they're ripping it all out because
They're
they're not
ripping it
going to
out.
use it, right?
Well, in the Matchmaker series, she does mention that when because the lady who is the main character of the Matchmaker series, she has like been in another community and now she's come back to where I guess where she grew up, and so the house where she's living in, it had been owned by an Englisher family, so they
Mhm.
just covered up the outlets and left everything wired. She said because she was older and she wanted to make it easier for the person who lives in that house after her, because it won't
Okay.
necessarily be an Amish person. And so
Yeah.
she was just looking out for the next person and didn't feel the need to rip it all out. She thought it
No.
would make
Yeah.
it easier for for whoever took over the house to sell it or whatever.
That's
So I thought, well, that's
awesome.
kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah. You wouldn't think about it.
I know. I know. And so when I was driving on this one country road to get to the town of Shoto, my sister had said, okay, she kind of drew me a little map. She's like, go this way and you'll pass by a lot of Amish farms. And my brother-in-law is like, yeah, but you won't know it unless you really pay attention to which ones don't have light electric poles. And that's very true. They're very
Yeah.
well kept, very nice, and you can just be driving along, and unless you're notating, oh yeah, there's no electric poles there,
You would
you
know.
wouldn't really think about. And I kept looking for horse and buggies, and all I would see is tractors, and that's why, because their horse and buggies are put away till Sunday.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
saw one when I was in upstate New York and I was driving to Vermont and I was going across. I drove through unintentionally an Amish community and I got stuck behind a horse and buggy and I'm like, "Oh wait, you take your time. I'm good." Like
Right. Funny.
let me see here. Yes, would love to see. I would just love to see Amish communities anywhere. They said they'd love to see them in Oklahoma. I just think it's just so cheerful and just I don't know, it just feels like relaxing to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Until you
okay,
see him
so
on a
it's high
tractor
German.
hauling it down the street at top
Yeah,
speed.
some Amish girl with her, like,
Yeah.
Um, so Greensick Cottage said it's High German. My sister was an exchange student in Switzerland and speaks Swiss German fluently. So there we go.
Okay.
Look, we're being schooled, Elizabeth. I love this.
No, that's awesome. Very cool.
Amish communities in Kansas. I guess they're really
I think,
everywhere.
yeah, I think they're all over wherever they want to, start a community.
Yeah.
But obviously there's bigger places where we tend to think of them, like in Ohio and Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I still have yet to make it to Pinecraft. I think it's not far from where Tiffany, the beach bum bookworm, lives.
Really?
And I don't know if she's ever driven through there or not, but one of these days I'm going to go down and look her up, and I'm going to try to drive through the
You guys
Amish
can make a day
community.
trip of it or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see. My parents' friend from law school was an attorney who represented Amish youth in their Rumspringa. I believe she lived in Illinois. Oh, that's a specialized
Okay.
practice.
Yeah, yeah. So they might get themselves into a little bit of trouble here and there.
Well, if you think
I think Shipshewana is one of the bigger communities in Illinois.
Okay, okay. Interesting.
That's the one I've heard of.
Amy Lillard has written an Amish series set in Oklahoma, and they talk about the tractors. There you go.
Oh, okay. Is it the one? I don't know if you saw my video. Was it my announcement video where I held up an Amish cozy mystery by Amy Lillard that I just picked up at a book sale? I haven't even read the back of it. I think Donna from Studio in the Library said she got a hold of it and is reading it, so I'll have to find out. But tell us the name of the Amy Lillard book, because I would love to read it. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Maybe that girl's in it. She hit someone with the tractor by accident.
Though I was able to vlog a little bit inside and out of the three big businesses that my sister sent me to. There's one, the very last one I went to is just general store, and my brother-in-law said, yeah, they call that the Amish Walmart around here because it's the general store. But it's like very true to life, like that's where they shop. So
oh yeah. Yeah, that's what I joked about in my video, and I'm like, do they go into the Walmart like just they must. And I could just imagine them walking by the book section and seeing all these Amish books and going, please.
Yeah. Well, there was an Amish man that visited our church a couple of Sundays back around Christmas time, maybe back before COVID. And I chatted with him briefly, and he was telling me the reason he was there was because I think he was from Pinecraft, but he had been hired to bring his horse and buggy up to our area for some kind of an event. So he was giving horse and buggy rides at this event, and so he was in town for a few days, and so he just came and visited our church. So I was telling him that I like to read Amish books, and he said, he was like, yeah, I'm not even going to try to do his accent, but he's like, some of those I think are probably okay. He said, some of them probably aren't very true.
But that's accurate for any book, I think, really.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, the Amish Walmart. I love that. What else we got here? Google says Amish in parts of Ohio use tractors because the ground was so hard it was killing their horses. And there is a community in Oklahoma that uses them. So there we go.
So that would be Shoto. And my
Yeah.
sister lives in a town that neighbors. Well, she lives out in the country, so you can go from her house to Shoto without ever going into a town. So they sent me like down and around the back roads, and they said, turn here, and then just stay on that road straight to the highway, and you'll pass all these Amish farms. And so that's what I did, and it was a really fun
Oh,
drive.
that is
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome.
And
So
I
the
think
Wells
some of
Landing
them.
series.
What's that?
The Wells Landing series. Caroline's Secret, Lori's Heart, and Courting Emily. That's the ones in Oklahoma.
Oh, because I thought Courting Emily was by Leslie Gould, but maybe I'm thinking of. There's something with a similar title that's by Leslie
Mhm,
Gould that I've read.
mhm.
I really miss the Audible Escape package because there were so many good Amish books on that package,
Mhm.
and I just like binged so many that month
Oh,
that
I know.
right before they were going out. I missed that a lot.
Yeah, because that ended, I
Courting.
think it ended on like the end of April, so it was almost perfect
Oh
for
no, it was
Amish in April.
October. It was the
Oh,
end of
that's right. It was
October.
October.
hmm
Hmm.
But I had been saving some of the Amish books, and I went ahead and just listened through everything I couldn't get on Hoopla. Um,
Yeah,
that was one of them. So,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm finding a lot on Hoopla,
Y'all have to
thankfully.
excuse me. I didn't put on any makeup today. I knew we were going to be outside and we might be sweating, and I usually never go online. I never go on with so unprepared, but anyway, this is
We're
not
all
my
friends
channel.
here.
This is Sarah's channel. Maybe no one will see me here. I'm just kidding. More people will see me here than on my own channel.
We're all friends here. It's fine.
Uh, oh my goodness. My phone may die here pretty soon. I should probably go and check and go off of here and check my text messages. Probably Katie is blowing at my text messages, wanting to know where we are because I'm just
Yeah,
sitting out here. But anyway, it's been really fun. I may pop back in. How long
sounds
are you going
good.
to be on? Probably till 3.
Probably till about 3 o'clock. Yeah,
Okay. Are you going to do some sprints too, or no?
yeah, we're gonna do some sprints for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Well,
but pop in and out as you want.
I'll keep my ear out for what you're up to, and I'll probably go ahead and sign off,
Okay.
and I'll come back in the chat periodically, or let you know if it looks like I'm going to have time to sit and chat for a little bit. So it was
Sounds good.
fun. I'll definitely next week. I should be able to come on for the
It's
whole
six
time,
o'clock
if
at
not
night
longer.
next Saturday.
6 o'clock. Okay,
Yeah.
that sounds good.
Mhm.
All right.
Okay.
Well, it was great seeing everybody. And thank you, Sarah, for hosting this today. And I hope you guys are having fun with whatever you're reading for Amish in April.
For sure. We'll talk soon.
Bye.
Let's have a look here. So we'll do some sprints in what time is it? 12:43. We'll do some sprints in about 17 minutes. So we'll do some sprints from like 4 from like 1 until like 20 after 1 or so. Be doing a lot of different stuffs in the sprints. That's fine. You don't have to read during the sprints if you want to. Some people do laundry, some people do their dishes, whatever you want. Oh, that was so much fun discussing all that Amish stuff, you guys. I just finished the first in the Matchmaker series by Amanda Flower, now starting Marshmallow Malice. That is Marshmallow Malice is what, the fourth book, I think. Is that correct? Remind me, because I'm on book 3 personally. With Peppermint, Premeditated Peppermint. I do love the title of that book. But I love anything Christmas. So I was originally going to read it, and then I found it from Hoopla from the library. So that's fun. Let's see, what else do we have here? Yeah, Premeditated Peppermint is book 3. I think I've read the Marshmallow one. That's why I'm questioning what number it is in the series. Toxic Coffee. Oh, no, it's book 5. Book 5. Okay, so I've still got a bit of a ways to go before that one. Yeah, thank you. I should just waited for you guys to tell me. Jinx, yeah. Oh, that's hilarious. Um, so I know we have a lot of audiobook listeners here, much like myself. Does when you guys are listening to audiobooks, I'm always interested, what do other people do when they're listening to audio? Are you guys doing any crafting? Are you just relaxing? I can't decide. Should I work on socks or should I pick up my blanket again? Um, I'm kind of at a loss. I was thinking about doing some cross stitch, but it's a little bit more involved. Like, I think I have to charge my tablet so I can get the um the pattern up and stuff like that. But I don't know, socks or blanket. What do you guys think? But yeah, do the rest of you guys do anything while you're listening to audiobooks, or do you just listen? Or I'm always curious how other people do it. So, I know the other night I was sitting there watching the hockey game while my husband was I was listening to an audiobook while my husband was watching the hockey game. So, and how are we all doing for reading this month? Do let me know that too. Um, how are we how do you think you're gonna do? I mean, I still have like 6 more books I want to finish before the end of the month. So we shall see. Um, you know, we shall see. Whatever I want to do. Yeah, I'm thinking I might add another square to the blanket. Most of the time I'm listening to audio and I'm driving around my lunch break. That's yep. I love audio for my commute to work. It is like the greatest invention ever for that. Um, Attempting to finish the Amish Candy Shop series. Yeah. I think I mentioned last night during Storm's live show in Sprints that I have the newest book from NetGalley. So but I'm not even close to being there yet. Crocheting on a blanket. Um uh, I'm currently crocheting a blanket in the form of my favorite quilt pattern, double wedding ring. Oh, neat. See, crochet is just one of those hobbies that just blows my mind. I'm not a crocheter. I don't know how. Um, I only allow myself to listen to a book if I'm moving. So walking, stretching, housework, gardening is my incentive to get out of the chair. That's fantastic. Good for you. It's funny when I used to go to the gym like pre-COVID. I've got to start getting back to the gym because I am just so cardiovascularly, I'm so unhealthy right now. But I actually didn't listen to audio while I was on the treadmill. I would actually like read my Kindle of all things for some reason. Um, After the one I'm currently reading, which I should finish today or tomorrow morning, there are two more in my April TBR. So I might fit an extra bonus book this month. Ooh, bonus books are always fun. Always fun. Um, I am struggling. I can't get into anything at Alliance. Hmm, I'm not sure what that is. My commute is 45 minutes, so I get a lot of listening done. Same. I'm about a 40 to 45-minute commute as well each way. Um, It's usually about 45. For some reason, it's usually 45 minutes in, but almost an hour home, I think because the traffic is more at night. I don't know. I'm crocheting my first shawl for my daughter. Oh, that's sweet. Oh, I love it. Oops. I usually use speech recognition or audiobooks when I'm doing artwork. Oh, excellent. I've tried text to speech and I can't. It depends on what it is like. For the Gloss app, which is through Harlequin, I can do their text to speech because it doesn't sound as robotic to me. But the one on my Kindle Fire for my Kindle books, I have a hard time with. I don't know, but yeah. This is I'm attempting to teach myself to crochet, but sometimes I get so involved in trying to learn, I block out the audio. Yeah, I can see that. Absolutely. That's why when I knit like when I'm listening to an audiobook, I prefer knitting because I can do knitting now without even thinking depending on the pattern. And it's just something to do with my hands, just to be busy. Actually, my husband and I were at Walmart today, and I saw the most gorgeous puzzle. And I know puzzles are becoming like a huge deal for people. And I kind of debated on buying it, but then it was like $20. And I know that sounds bad. It's like, oh, spend the $20. But the thing is, for me, is where do I put it afterward? Do you know what I mean? Like, do you just take them apart and put it back in the box and resell it? Like, if that's the case, then maybe I'll just go to my thrift store and see if I can find puzzles and pray all the pieces are there. Um, and do it that way, or just download an app for my phone or my tablet that I can do puzzles with, because that's my thing, is like, what do you do with them afterward? At least with knitting, I have the finished product. Does that make sense? Um, I do all the boring essential stuff for life, cleaning, etc., while listening to audiobooks. That's awesome. I used to actually really like that, like, when my husband and I had our own place, after dinner, I would sit and or not sit. After dinner, I would do all the dishes and plug in an audiobook and be very, very content doing that. So another 9 minutes or so, guys, and we'll do some sprints. Just trying time-wise to make it, easier here. I love puzzles. I might do them while listening to audio. The other thing I also really enjoyed doing, I had it downloaded on my tablet, was that Happy Color. That was a lot of fun too. That was kinda like my before bed relaxation thing. I like the idea of doing coloring too. Actually, when we were at Walmart today, I saw a was it a Golden Girls? A Golden Girls coloring book that looked like so much fun. Um, I've read about 19 books so far this month. Good for you. Congratulations. Yeah, I started off the year with like, I mean, hey, I'm happy with whatever I can read. Like, let's be honest. It's not a competition, nothing at all like that. But I mean, February was a write off for me being in hospital and all that stuff. And then March, it's increased. And then this month, so far, I'm at 16. So I'm hoping by the end of the month to finish somewhere around 20-ish. So I'll be very, very happy with that, I think. Um, Love puzzles too. Yeah. There's some really pretty puzzles. And I mean, they're just gorgeous. Um, I don't do puzzles because my cat would have all the pieces on the that's exactly what I said to Garrett. I'm like, "I'd love to do this, but where would I do it that the cats wouldn't, the cats would knock everything off of everything else, because that's what cats do, because 'cause they're jerks. Um, my pandemic hobby was the diamond art. It was fun, but my back would hurt after a while. My husband really got into it. He did a couple of pictures, and then I think for the same reason, it just kinda got to be a little bit much for him sitting like that, so he still has a lot of them, and I think he might pick them up again later. But I found with my husband, he tends to be a winter hobby person. So, like, in the spring and summer, he doesn't do hobbies, like, he doesn't do much, but for some reason in the winter is when he gets the drive to, like, he taught himself how to knit, and he crocheted, and he did the diamond painting and stuff, but it tends to be in the winter time, which I think is very, very interesting. But I mean, that's him, right? So, yeah, that's fun. But yeah, yeah. So, reading for the sprint. Should we start a little bit early? Let's start a little bit early. Let's start the sprint a little bit early. Like I said, I'm going to be listening to on audio Premeditated Peppermint by the lovely Amanda Flower. So there it is on my Kobo. So yeah, so we will start the sprint and we will go until we'll go until 20 after. We'll go until 20 after. Can I do something over here? Um oh, well, that's fun. Ooh, hold on. Um, Sprint. I can spell. Sprint until. Oh, come on. Type, Sarah. Type. Yay! Oh, that's pretty cool. Awesome. Awesome. Welcome everyone who's just joining in. So we're gonna start sprinting for about let's say 26 minutes or so, and we'll jump back in and do a little bit more chatting. So I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Hello, everybody. How did we all do with our reading for that? I got about 28 pages read of Premeditated Peppermint by Amanda Flower, and I am enjoying this one very much. I do love a good holiday themed anything generally. Cozy mystery, romance, they all make me happy. So yeah, I use the app Bookly. Does anyone else use it? I actually about 2 years ago I pay for the premium. I decided to get it and I do use it and I kind of really love it for keeping track of my reading. It can be a little tedious because you got to remember to turn it on like when you're reading. But if you're like for commuting or something like that, it's so yeah, so that's what Bookly looks like. Does anybody else use it? I'm just out of curiosity. I like it for timing and seeing how much I read every day and things like that. I think it's a lot of fun. So let's get back into the comments here. Do, 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 do. Yeah. My cat spilt my mom's tea and messed up the puzzle. Oh no. I had, speaking of cats, years ago, I have a new one now, which is what I use, but it's called a yarn bowl. So it's like this, right? So you put your ball of yarn in it and then it feeds through here. And when you're sitting, you can pull on the yarn and the ball of yarn doesn't like fall off your lap or on the floor or anything like that. So I wasn't using it at the time, and it was one that I bought when I was on vacation in the States years ago. I had it sitting on the side table and my cat knocked it over and smashed it into a bunch of pieces. So now I had to buy a new one. I do like this one quite a bit. It's my colors with the orange on the inside, but yeah, I was really frustrated by that, unfortunately. Um, I really love coloring while listening to audio too. My Doctor Who coloring book is everything. I also have a lovely Moomin one. Oh, interesting. Yes. I They have so many cool coloring books now, like coloring is like the thing. Um, which is great because you're never too old to color. See those diamond art kits while I'm searching cross stitch and embroidery kits on Amazon. They look interesting. They are very interesting, but like everything else, it's kind of like, where do you put it? And the problem is like my husband got some of the ones that were, um, the pictures seem really intricate, but the size of it was very small. So you're losing a lot of the detail. And, it's almost better to splurge for the bigger pieces, but then it's kind of like when you're done it, where do you put it? Like it becomes a whole thing, right? Because you've got to be able to put this stuff places. Um, welcome, welcome. Um, they are so fun. Um, yeah, definitely. I'm big on crafting. I have a Mills and Boone puzzle. I haven't made it up yet. Had it ages. I might do an ASMR video making it up. Ooh, is it like a cover of an old Mills and Boone? For those of you who, I mean, if you're watching my channel, you know I love romance, but the Mills and Boone is what Harlequin is known as in the US or in the UK, excuse me. So tell me, is it a cover? I would love to know. I am very interested. Uh, a double endorsement. Yeah. Hit the like button. Thank you. My internet really likes them too. That's funny. Hi everyone, I'm listening to True Confessions by Ruth Hertzler. I usually crochet or paint when using audio. Oh, like is it like paint by numbers or like painting on canvas? I'm very interested. That is awesome. Hello, I didn't realize that was gonna run me everywhere today. Aw, that's okay, that's okay. Um, Hi, Lynn! Wish I could listen to books while I'm working, but unfortunately I have to pause them too often. You get a kick out of the book I just picked up from Indigo. What book, Lynn? Tell me. And I'm the same. I actually can't listen to audio at work. I try, but it's like you, I'm sure. I'm customer service. The phone constantly is ringing, so unfortunately it's not an option for me. Unless like yesterday I got really, really lucky and it was really quiet at work. Like I figure everybody was probably outside enjoying the first perfect spring day that we had this year. and I had a lot of admin work to do, so I was able just to pop in the audiobook and finish it while doing admin work, but generally, on a normal day, no, I can't do audio while I'm at work. I'm at 80%, hope to finish the book today, stirring the pot, fantastic, excellent, excellent. Cozy Reading with Michelle says, "My mother's the same way. We start off going one place and then 5 other places later." Aw. Um, I got about I'm assuming you're meaning a chapter and a half done. That's awesome, that's awesome. Good for the stuff I did. Excellent, excellent. 11% done on my Kindle. I'm at 85%. Should finish it today. Congratulations. That's awesome. Hello, Cheryl and everyone. I didn't know there were sprints today. Yes, there's sprints today and there's sprints again next Saturday as well at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that notice will go up earlier in the week. I think I didn't do this one until like Thursday. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. The notice will go up earlier this week. Um, I read 32 pages, only 15 minutes left. Oh, that's exciting. Don't use Bookly, no. 22 pages, 4 chapters of Murder Simply Stitched by Isabel Ann, number 2 in the Amish Quilt Shop on page 198 of 347. That is awesome. Finished the first chapter of Marshmallow Malice. Excellent, excellent. I love coloring books too. Those are funny to do and relaxing at the same time. I agree. I'm a little bit much of a perfectionist for coloring books. I'd be like, "Oh, it doesn't look good. I have to rip it out and start again." That would be my problem. Um, I'm a little over a third of the way through Murder in Plain Sight. Love the way Marta Perry builds a suspense. Yes, she is so, so good. So good. I love color by number. Oh, that is awesome. Yay. Yes, that's why I loved the Happy Color app because it is like in a way it's a color by number and it's just so much fun. Really liked Malice. I listened to another chapter of Good Me, Bad Me by Ali Land. Is that a romance? What's the genre of that one? I am very interested to know. My brother did several diamond art kits, but you really need a very steady hand, and he had to give it up. My sister-in-law finished it for him. Yeah, I can see that. Like I would watch Garrett do them, and it would just be like, you've got to be so careful. I keep trying to get him to take up cross stitch, but he doesn't have any interest in that. I think it's just a little too fiddly for him. um, oh, okay. Thanks, Lynn. I will have to look at that. Let me see here. Excuse me, bear with me. Talk amongst yourselves. I like it. There's a reason. It's got a bad word in the title, so that's the reason why she couldn't share it with me. I liked Premeditated Peppermint a lot too. I think it was my favorite in the series so far. Maybe because it's Christmas. Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's like I'm just such a fan of Christmas books, whether it be like I said, whether it be a romance or a cozy. Romance books and cozy mysteries tend to do holiday books so well. And cozies, especially with like Halloween, it's just I love it. Or all the autumnal holidays, delightful. Absolutely delightful. I just ordered a diamond painting a few days ago, just a small one, and I agree. The details aren't as good when they're small. Yes, I mean, it seems like a good deal on Amazon, and that's what Garrett was getting. He's like, "Oh, this one's only $20." But you notice the difference, unfortunately. Oh, sorry you won't be able to make it next Saturday. But you can rewatch it in after the fact. I meant to say that coloring books are fun to do, not funny, although I guess they could be funny depending on what you're coloring. So true. Oops. Ooh, a psychological thriller. Okay, now you have my attention. That sounds really good. I'll write it down. I'll have to look that one up. I have 170 pages left in this book. Hopefully I can finish it today. Excellent. Currently reading A Gentle Feuding by Joanna Lindsay, a historical romance. Gotta love a good historical romance. That one is always, always fun, or those are always fun, excuse me. I love cross stitch. Haven't done any in a while and want to get back to it. I bought a few kits at Hobby Lobby. I see a lot of the kits. My dad used to do a lot of the kits, but I am not a fan of the kits, to be honest. I don't know what it is. I think it's like my fear is that I'm gonna run out of floss or something. And then, like I'm not sure with the kits. Do you get Do they give you, like, if it's a floss color, those of you who crossed it or those of you who don't cross stitch, this is gonna mean nothing to anyone else, but do they give you, like, the DMC, like, equivalent? Do you know what I mean? Like, for the floss? Let me know, because 'cause I'm interested. That's always my concern is that I'm gonna run out of the floss and, not be able to complete complete it. I have to finish Totally Paw-Struck by Sophie Ryan today since it's due at the library soon, yeah. I had to go to the library and take some books back today. I did renew them all, but, and you're not being charged what do you call it? You're not being charged, late fees now at Toronto or at the Toronto Library, but I still like to get them back and, at a relatively decent time for other people to borrow. Um, Usually it's either a DMC or an Anchor floss in the kits. Oh, good to know, Lynn. Thank you. I did not know that. But yeah, so um usually included the floss. Yeah, I mean, I know the floss is included in the kits, but like if you run out of a color, are you able to go to Michael's and get a new color? Like, do they give you the number? So you can go and pick up more yourself. That would be my question. Um, Whoops. I'll need to look at the kits, and I thought it was DMC. Oh, okay. Interesting. Interesting. We'll be getting late fees back soon. I like it without them. Yeah, there was a big announcement for Toronto stating that they were no longer going to be charging late fees. But I'm like, I'm happy to pay a late fee if I need to because the money goes to the library. So, um, the Mills and Boone puzzle is a all-in-one older book covers. Oh, I would love that. I'll have to look at eBay for something like that because that I would finish and probably try and frame because that would be awesome. I recently finished Busilicate and I did run out of one color. And the chart did list the DMC color, so I was able to buy a scan of that. Perfect. Yes, that's what I was wondering. Excellent. Excellent. Yes, you can. Usually the chart will list. Okay, awesome. Awesome. That is good to know. That is really good to know because, I don't know, maybe I should pull out the cross stitch next and for our next sprint and do a little of that. Um, I have started, a llama, a Christmas llama. Isn't he cute? He's got no legs or head, but it's actually two llamas, and they're carrying. I don't know which way I'm going. They're carrying presents on their back. Um, so yeah, maybe I'll work on that for a bit. No, I should finish off my blanket square first. When you have like 40 books out like I do, the late fees, that's fair. That's fair. No, that's fair. I had what was it, about a month ago? I was renewing my card for the Toronto Public Library and I went to go do it online, which I love that they're letting you do that. And it said that I owed money for a book I didn't return. I'm like, no, I totally returned that book. I think it's because it's a hardcover book. I'm like, oh my gosh, it was like $40. And I thought, oh, you know what? I've been really using the library and, we'll just consider it a donation. So I went ahead and I paid the money. And as these things always go, my friends, literally 2 days later, I found the book. So now I own a copy of what's the book called? The Victorian House by Judith Flanders. I never got to it for Nonfiction November last year. So I'll probably try and read it for Nonfiction November this year now that I own the copy of it. So, it is what it is. Yes, I do love me a good llama. Might listen to an audiobook during the next sprint. I want to knit. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And if you ever run out of floss, there's a stockpile in my house that isn't getting used. Been catching up on old podcasts and all the Vlogmas makes me aw. I missed you guys. I hope Lynn is one of my knitting friends, and we have traveled together to many various places. Have we not, Lynn? Been in some adventures, driving to Chicago in a rainstorm. So I'm hoping this October, I'm hoping that, I can get down to Rhinebeck. I hope. I hope. Even though, to be completely honest, I have no interest in buying any yarn stuffs. I just want to see all you guys. I just want to see all my friends. That's what I miss. Almost finished reading The Good Luck Murders by Brian Johnston. Enjoying it. Excellent. We will sprint again in about 5 more minutes, everybody. If I end with a few books from the library, I read the ones I can't renew first. That's smart. That's really smart, actually. And I did learn that trick for those of you who borrow um, digital books from the library, that it does work, because I was almost finished a book and they were going to take it back on me, and I did put my device onto airplane mode, and it didn't return it, so I was able to finish the book. So that was kind of a good little fun bit of information that somebody gave me. Good evening, everyone. Bit late to the game. Oh yeah, that's right. You're in the Netherlands. Had to cook dinner for the family. What did we have for dinner? I'm always interested to hear what other people had for dinner, because I have no idea what I'm going to have for dinner yet. Absolutely, I want to come to Rhinebeck so bad. I'm doing Garden State Sheep and Fiber. Garden State. Where is that, Lynn? I don't know. Where is it? Tell me. Tell me. I know you mentioned it in chat the other day. I wasn't sure what it was. Um, I'm assuming it's in New Jersey. Can I assume that? Oh, but yeah, I don't know. The issue is, guys, and I didn't share this in my vlog or anything, but my husband started working 2 weeks ago, and yesterday he showed up at work and he was promptly let go for no reason. They hired too many people. They didn't have enough work, so he's out of work again. Fingers crossed he's got an interview on Monday. But if he's not working, I will not be going anywhere, unfortunately. So that's crap. That's crap. Had pasta for dinner, yummy. Saturday is pasta day here. We had pasta yesterday. Well, I had pasta yesterday. Garrett and I ordered from a place called Boston Pizza. Any other fellow Canadians probably are familiar with it. I know, Lynn, you had a bad experience with it recently, but I still love it, so it was delicious. But yeah, so I'm hungry. We went to Walmart this morning, so I got McDonald's and I had a hash brown for breakfast, and oh, so yeah. Yeah, it is. It sucks. I'm angry. I'm angry for him. I think it's a lot of BS. I just don't understand a company to go through the entire hiring process and then the whole process of getting someone registered to work, not registered, but like with human resources and payroll and all the things, to just then let them go. Like, there was no rhyme or reason. He did his job. He was on time every day. It just, like Garrett and I said, it was probably just lack of work, and it's 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 ludicrous, and it's unfortunate, but what can you really do? So, yeah, it is what it is. So, what's everybody reading in the next sprint? Those of you who are reading, or what are you going to be doing in the next sprint? I'm going to finish my square off on my blanket here. And I think I'm going to turn to Pride, Prejudice, and Other Flavors by Sonali Dev. I just started this one yesterday. I am reading this for the Romance Readers Reading Group on Goodreads for the Pass the Parcel Challenge. This week's prompt was to read a book set in Asia, or with an Asian, like, from that region, main character, and our lead in this book, our female lead, is Indian American. So it fits the prompt. This is, of course, from what I've been told by Pride and Prejudice enthusiasts, this is a very loose retelling of Pride and Prejudice. So I went on to Google yesterday and I read very briefly. I've read Pride and Prejudice, but it was years ago. So I went and reread, like, pretty much what the plot is, just so I would remember enough going into this one. But this is the first in her series. So the next 3 books are all Pride and Prejudice, or not. The next 3 books in the series are all Jane Austen retellings. So for the other ones, I'm going to probably read the Jane Austen work first and then go ahead and read that. But like I said, I've only just started this. I'm barely into it at this point. Sorry for the brightness. But yeah, so I will read that during the next sprint. You're going to eat your dinner. Good choice. Good choice on that one. Reading notes on an execution for a review. Oh, that sounds interesting. We're about to stop for lunch, checking in to say hi. Hello, hello. Going to finish Courting Can Be a Killer. Yes, get that book done. Roast chicken dinner with tonight's meal. That sounds delicious too. Let me jump here. I'm reading a Harlequin. It's a Dutch doctor's bind up. Healing the Vet's Heart by Annie Clayton. She's such a good author. I really, really like her books. I'm going to listen to some non-Amish books. Citizen Canine by David Rosenfeld, number 3, the K Team series. Don't know what you're doing yet. That's okay. Nine Lives by Peter Swanson. Gonna listen to The Guest List by Lucy Foley and Luminate on a Scarf for a Christmas gift. Uh, have you just started it, Cheryl? Like, are you enjoying it? I've heard mixed reviews about that book. So, yeah. All right. So, let's go. We're going to sprint until, whoops, the top of the hour. And yeah, we'll sprint until the top of the hour and we'll talk again then. Talk to you guys in a bit. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. All right. All right. So we'll chat again for another 20 or so minutes, and then we'll do one more sprint for today, and then finish off the chat just before 3. So that's kind of the game plan. Um, how did everybody do? I got about 20 pages read, so that's not too bad. This is a long audiobook, you guys. It's like 15 hours on audio, which, the book is like 400 and some odd pages, but I did finish another blanket square. Kind of hard to see with this light, but I put that blanket square in. So yeah, this is kind of what it looks like now. Slowly getting bigger. I'm loving it. But yeah, so that is that. Um, let's see what everybody's saying here. The first story was The Bind Up of the Vets. Secret Son by Annie O'Neill. Oh, yes, they're all connected. Very good. Very good. Still reading The Earl's Inconvenient House Guest by Virginia Heath at the moment, hoping to finish it this weekend. She's a good author. I really like her work. Should I have to go? I'll try and come back to the sprints later if you're still doing them. Oh, bye, Cheryl. You're probably already gone, but thanks so much for joining. I appreciate it. Hi, Emily. Welcome, welcome. Oh, yay, you finished your book 5 stars. Oh, that's fantastic. Fantastic. And I got distracted by my dogs and only read a couple of pages. I understand that. Decided what I'm gonna do. Eat ice cream cake and ice cream cake sounds delicious. I've read that one. Not bad one at all. Yep. I needed a snack. So popcorn is a food group to me. I love popcorn. Yum. My dog is taking her 20-hour nap right now. Or do French. Yep. I have to try and figure out what I'm knitting next since I finished my current project last night. What are you in the mood for, Lynn? I got 2 pairs of socks on the go, another Free Your Fade shawl just because they're so easy to knit, and I'm knitting The Weekender by, who the heck designed The Weekender? Andrea Mowry, Drea Renee Knits. I really need to pick that back up because I haven't touched it in a long time. 2 more chapters done. Fantastic. 17 pages. Excellent, excellent. Made it home. Are you almost done? No, dear, we're going to be here for another hour. Jump back, jump in, jump in. Like I said, we're going to chat till about 20 after 2. Or, yeah, 20 after 2. And then we'll sprint for another, maybe 30 minutes, do a 30-minute sprint, and then chat for the last 10 minutes. So, no, please jump on. Not going to lie, I was a little involved in my book. I was trying to do the very quiet, hello. But I'm in no way a school teacher and I don't have that voice. Chapter read of Citizen Canine, fantastic. I read 20 pages of a 1,200-page book. What are you reading? I must know. I do love a good tome. Like, I'm rereading Gone with the Wind right now as well, so yay. Listen to another chapter and a half of my audiobook. It's getting so good. Great job, great job. Made it to 80%, fantastic. Halfway point, excellent. Today's hour of aliens bug hunt. Find Christie's shell so I can finish it, but yes, socks. Socks are always the way to go, Lynn. You know that. That's my what I have to say on that one. Read 2 chapters. I'll be making vegetable soup later on. That sounds delicious. Alternating between reading Tomorrow Will Be Better by Betty Smith and listening to the audiobook of The Violence by Delilah Dawson while cross-stitching. Excellent. I'm reading Max, Misha, and the Ten, which is, wow, I've never even heard of that book. Interesting. Very interesting. Halfway through it so far. Chapter 8 of The Historian. It's got small writing, it's 704 pages. Oh, that's hard. I hate when the writing is tiny. I really, really do, to be completely honest. So I have a question. I was thinking about this while I was listening to my audiobook. Now, outside of sprints, and those of you who commute and listen to audio while you commute, when you're listening to an audiobook, do you stop halfway through the chapter, or or do you finish the chapter? like what do you do when you're listening to an audiobook? So like outside of sprints and commuting and back and forth to work, I will I'll finish off a chapter before I stop the audiobook and stop listening to it for that time period. So I'm just curious to know what the rest of you do if because I don't know like if you're the same with physically reading, but when I'm physically reading a book, I will always try and read to the end of chapter, or to like the page break or something like that. Um, where it changes scenes or what have you. But yeah, I'm just really interested to know what other people do, especially when it comes to audio. Is it just like, oh, I'm gonna listen, for a half an hour, and you're gonna just listen to a half an hour regardless of where you are, like if you're at the end of a chapter or not, or what have you. So yeah, just interested. Um, usually set an end of chapter. Oh, that's interesting. Is that on like does it do that for I guess yeah, you just set a timer. That makes sense, doesn't it? End of chapter timer, I do the same thing. Yes, I stop where I stop with audio, but like I stop at the chapter with a physical copy. Okay. Okay. Try to finish a chapter for audiobooks. Yeah, it just makes sense to me. I stop listening when I stop moving. That's fair. I can stop mid-sentence in an audiobook or a physical book. Wow. Okay, that's pretty awesome. I don't think that I could be doing that. Oh, Storm's here. Yay! Hello.
Hey,
Welcome, welcome. Usually listen to the end of chapter. In a commute, try and complete the chapter if possible. Yeah. But, I'm usually driving, so it makes it difficult. What about you? Storm, do you, like, when you're listening to audio, do you finish a chapter before you stop, or can you stop halfway through a chapter?
I prefer to finish the chapter before stopping, but sometimes you can't, but I do
Yeah.
prefer to do that.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
same with reading a physical book and any of those. I like to finish the chapter.
Yeah, and like with a physical book, I find it's easier, like if, you might not get to the end of the chapter, but maybe there's a page break. So I
Yeah.
can stop at the page break. But with an audio, you don't know if it's a page break. You know what I mean?
Unless they pause really long and say,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Or the scene has changed or something like that. Yeah, yeah. If I commute, I stop at any point I'm at. Now, if I listen at home, I try and finish the chapter. Yeah, I'm the same. But sometimes if I'm like almost done the chapter, I will sit in my car and finish it off before I go into the office.
It's like, oh, I still got like a couple of minutes. I can just
Yeah.
listen.
Or I'll walk through the office with my earbud in, just waving good morning to people. Like,
Yeah.
don't talk to me. I'm busy. Stop wherever. No, it's not bad. I was just curious what people do. Stop the audiobook wherever I'm at. Currently doing Barack Obama's A Promise Land. It's 29 hours. Wow. He does have such a nice speaking voice though. So he I think he narrates that his own audiobook, I think. Hey, Storm, people are saying hello, hello. I just stop wherever. I often go back 30 seconds. Oh, that's a good idea. Stop wherever I am. End of chapter, not regardless of the format. That's fair. Hello from Cozy. Jeanette, I listen while doing dishes and cleaning up. I try and find a good stopping point, even if it's not the end of a chapter. That's fair. Hello. I read 1.5 chapters. That's excellent. On Libby in the settings, you can choose to stop after each chapter, but then it stops after every chapter. Oh, okay. So it's all or nothing. I didn't know that. I should mention that to my mom because she listens to most of her audio on Libby, and she does it before she goes to bed. And the number of times she's told me the next day, she's like, she left it on and fell asleep, and she doesn't remember where she was.
Yeah, like, I don't remember.
Yeah. Where was I? I listened to some audiobooks that don't even mark the chapters. That's strange. I try to reach the end of the chapter sometimes, though other stuff gets in the way. So yeah, speaking of that, the reason I think I thought about it is I'm listening to Premeditated Peppermint on Hoopla, and it doesn't give me the option to jump ahead a chapter. Like it doesn't list the chapters.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a thing on Hoopla? Because I'm fairly new to Hoopla.
I think it depends on the audiobook because they just started making it to where you can like look at the chapter you're on and kind of see how you're going, or you got the whole thing. And so some of them are different. I think if it's the whole thing, it doesn't show you the chapters, but if it has it where you can do the chapters or like a whole thing, you can get the chapters.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I was like, because I started reading it as an ebook. And then I'm like, oh, the audio's on Hoopla. So I went to go grab it and I went to go start at chapter 2 and I'm like, there's no place I can pick what chapter, so I had to like 30
Yeah,
second fast
30
forward.
seconds. Yeah. I've done that before, yeah.
And my other audiobook complaint, Audible does not tell you how far you're through a book, percentage wise. It drives me bonkers. I don't know why, but it does.
I do
I
like
wanted
that
to.
Libby like tells you how much you have left in the book if you're listening to it at a certain speed or whatever.
Yes, it does. Yes, and Audible does that as well. It'll say like if you're listening to it at whatever, blah blah blah. So, and what are you reading, Storm?
Let's see. I think I'm going to work on the Amish, building her Amish dream. Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm not
One
very
by
far.
Joanne Brown. Yep.
Yeah.
It's a quick enough read. I finished it. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to.
Yeah. I'm 14% into it, so I haven't read too much.
Yeah. I liked it. My only complaint is that they didn't feel very Amish to me in some instances. Like they were quoting.
I'm having a hard time deciding if the person is Amish or not. So it's like it doesn't like
Yes.
is it Benjamin? What is his name? Benjamin?
Benjamin.
Yeah. Like I'm like, is he Amish or is he not Amish? Like,
I know. And he said a couple of phrases that were like pop culture-ish, and I'm like, how do you know that?
So I'm like, yeah.
Also, at the very beginning of it, Maddie, I felt was like 16. Like until she ended up in hospital, I was like, what are you, 60? Like she seemed very young, but she's actually in her early 30s. So I don't know. It was I'm glad I read it. I did enjoy it at the end of the day, but it was just there was a few things that I didn't love. So we'll discuss that book next week.
Yeah.
We'll discuss it next week.
I shall have it done by then.
That's why I do listen in the morning and do physical and digital reading at night. Better to keep track of where I left off. I fell asleep listening to audio often. Sometimes it goes all the way to the end of the book, and Kindle gets really confused when I try and reread it. Yeah. Don't confuse the electronic devices. I have to go. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much for jumping in. I've had that disconnect before with a novel that was set in a Western state where the guy was cowboyish, but the woman was big city from the East Coast. Suddenly she's saying y'all and howdy, and it was just so jarring. Yeah. Yeah. When you're reading an Amish book and you're wondering, are they actually Amish? But I did like the fact later on in the book, you'll see the sister gets a book to read that's very Prince Edward Island. And it just made me happy. I'm like, yay. Pretty loud where we stopped for lunch. I won't try to come back on. No problem, Elizabeth. Well, hopefully we'll have her next Saturday when we do this. This is kind of the dry run, if you will, for next Saturday's chat with all of us. But yeah, so you did some running around today, did you?
We went antiquing and things like that, looking at stuff.
Fun.
Trying to decide it. I'm looking into things to seeing if I want to be a reseller for like eBay and things like that, try to make some money. And so been doing research, been taking lots of pictures of things and then looking it up to see, is this a brand that's worth money? Research.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen them a lot I know Elizabeth does a lot of books, but I've seen them a lot when I go to thrift stores that you get these guys who are just literally grabbing piles of books and they're scanning them with something, I guess, to see if they're worth anything. And I'm like, dude, put the book down if you're not buying it. I want that,
Yeah. eBay has a little camera on it. So you can even you can push that and then hold it up and see if there's any items. And then you can filter to see how they sell. So if they've sold them and how much they sell them for. And then you can decide well, that's a good buy. If it's only $1, I can make maybe $20 off of that or something.
Sure. Interesting. Oh, that's so neat.
And they also use
a hobby in
Google
itself.
Lens. You can use Google Lens to do that too.
Okay. Oh, that's neat. I know when my husband sold off his Star Wars collection, he made big money doing that.
I
Like,
bet.
he
Yeah.
had a lot of, like, the figures, the toys they're figurines, the toys.
Yeah.
I mean, he made enough money, he bought himself a drum set, an electric bike,
Wow.
like yeah, because, like, he had all these things that he'd been collecting over the years, and he's like, "What am I gonna do with them? They're just
These
here,"
these
you
people
know?
go to like these estate sales and stuff, and some of the stuff that they can buy like so cheap, like there, even if they spend $50 on it, if they know what they're looking for. And I was watching like these brooches. I mean, they were like huge, like hand, like, but
Mhm.
$3,000 for a brooch. And I'm like, and they're like, I only paid $50 at an estate sale, so that's like
Yeah,
all.
yeah, yeah.
It's like, I want some estate sales around here. I live out in the country. It's like where.
There's a place up by us that does it's like a barn auction thing, and my parents went many, many, many years ago. And my mom wanted a light fixture for the dining room. So they bought this gorgeous light fixture, and it was just before the holidays, and we had the whole family over, and Dad's talking about it because they paid like $20 for it. Dad's like, "It came from a funeral home. Like, it was a fixture at a funeral home."
And
And
it's
we were
like,
laughing, saying,
ew.
"To get the full effect of it, you gotta lay on the dining room table and, like." No, I didn't see you playing
Since
with
you
your dolls
talk
again.
about Prince Edward Island, I seen this. It's a little Anna Green Gables, like a little bowl, and it said Prince Edward's Island. I don't know if you can see. I took a picture to
Oh,
see if it was worth
cute.
anything.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah,
And
the
I
one
thought,
thing
oh, Sarah, Prince Edward
yeah,
Island.
yeah, the one thing reading that book, it did like, I've never been to Prince Edward Island, and I really wanna go. I really wanna go. So,
Yeah, I've
one of
never
these
read
days.
Anna Green Gables, so I need to do that.
I've never read it either, and I'm Canadian. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was required reading in school, and I never read it.
That's like a buddy read situation. We need to read that.
We will do that later this year. We'll read Anne, and just everybody can stop bugging me about it.
Yeah. I know, because everybody's like, "Oh, I think you would like it. You need to read it." I'm like,
I know on audio, it's narrated by Rachel McAdams, the
"Oh,
one who was in The Notebook.
yeah,
So that might be I'll probably listen to it on audio. I don't know if I can actually it's kind of
yeah."
thick.
Some of those like that, they're just better on audio.
Yeah, yeah. Classics are better on audio. Um, hello, Ryan. So that 50% off flight coupon for you. We fly to New Brunswick so you can drive over. I'd love because there's a bridge. You actually drive over a bridge to get the Confederation Bridge, and it's huge.
Oh,
I'd love to do that. Jaw drops. Even I've read Anne of Green Gables, and I'm from the Netherlands. I've never read Anne of Green Gables. I don't like hockey. I don't know how Canadian I actually
oh
am.
no, yeah,
A buddy read for Anne. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that later on this summer. We'll see.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm just getting into classics. I was never a classics reader, you know?
I am slowly, yeah. I've read classics off and on, but this year is my year to try to read more classics. So
Mm-hmm. Was my plan originally, but we'll see how that goes. Um,
I
oh
figured
yeah,
if I read 5, that's a lot. So
yeah. But there's some that I've really like, and I've read them in years past. I really liked The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins. I really liked Jane Eyre.
I
Like,
love
there are
Jane
some that I really liked, but for me as a romance reader, Jane Austen doesn't really appeal to me because it's kind of boring. After the romances. Um, I've read the entire series by the time I was 11. I've reread the series about a dozen times. Yeah, you either have never read Anne or you've read Anne a million times. It goes one or the other. There's no in between.
I just read my first Little House book this year, so
Yes. Now, see, those I read. It's a little different as an adult to read those books. Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, this is really dated."
Yeah, very dated. It's my mom's favorite book. Oh, that's nice. I was obsessed with Anne growing up, and I'm from Louisiana. I'd love to buddy read it. All right, we'll get a buddy read going. I hated playing hockey in school in UK. It sucked. Yep. Yep, you either loved it or you've either read it or never read it. The only classic I read was Pride and Prejudice in that old English, and English is my second language. But I watched the Colin Firth Pride and Prejudice series, so I had to read it. Okay, that's fair.
That's my favorite version of Pride and Prejudice. Colin Firth version. Yeah.
I should go ahead and because I've read Pride and Prejudice and I've read Emma. And the only reason I read Emma is because I understand that Clueless is a retelling of Emma. And Clueless is like my favorite movie of all time. So, and I saw it. I could see how it was.
Yeah.
I finally did watch through the entire Little House series and hadn't realized how churchy. Yeah, it's it is. Ella Montgomery, except the short stories over the last 2 years. It was my mother's favorite series. So now I know why. They were endearing. I know a friend of mine read the Emily books that she also wrote. I don't know. Colin Firth and Wet Pants. Lynn. I'm in for an Anne of Green Gables read along or buddy read. Oh, Alicia, you're a delight. She's doing like reading books after dark with like zombies and monsters, and I'll read that and I'll read Anne of Green Gables. It's all fine.
Yeah, that's like, I like my horror books, but I like this too. So
Exactly. Oh, I thought of you the other day because one of the books that I'm going to be reading in May is called The Librarian Always Rings Twice, and you read that romance. Was it a romance? Yeah, The Postman.
Oh, The Postman Always Rings. It was like a noir type.
Okay,
mystery.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
The Colin Firth adaptation is the best. Clueless, yeah, it's one of my favorite movies.
That's probably my favorite movie with Paul Rudd, I believe, isn't it?
He hasn't aged a day since Clueless. The Emily books are good, but not as good as Anne. I'm with the Anne of Green Gables. All right, guys. So we're gonna do maybe a 30-minute sprint ish. Yeah.
Sure.
We'll read until 1:45. We'll read till 1:45, and then we will jump on and finish off for the day. So let me change this here. I'm learning how to use these banner things. It's very much fun.
I did them last night. That was my first time.
Yeah. Like, yay! So, there we go. All right, guys, we'll talk to you in a little bit. Hello, everyone. I apologize if you can hear what sounds like, they're sawing down a forest behind me. But the neighbors are doing some work, obviously. All right, let's see here. Anne of Green Gables, awesome. Need a little fluff. Yeah, I like some fluff in my reading, definitely.
Yeah.
So how did everybody's reading go? Let me know. How did you do, Storm?
Okay, I got to 17%, and I got to a page break, and it was like a minute left, and I'm like, gotta quit right there. Wait until the minute.
Yeah, I got about another 20 pages read. I switched over to Murder Tightly Knit by Vanetta Chapman. So it's cute. It's a little bit of a different cozy mystery than what we're used to with a lot of the cozies, because there's like very much a romance element in it as well. So yeah, you read this one recently, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I like Hannah and Jesse. They're cute though.
Yeah, they are. It's a cute little couple. And Little House as a child, I was a bit obnoxious and read a load of children's classics. Hey, nothing wrong with children's classics. The Boxcar Children. See, I never read those. I always see them in the store.
Yeah.
But I never read them.
I see Sweet Valley like when I'm running around, and I'm always like, Sarah.
I know, and I can't find them anywhere up here. Like I ran into a store recently where I found like a stack of them, and I got so excited. But like, to be honest, the regular series, I'm not so worried about finding them to read them because they're all available on Kindle Unlimited. But it's the extra books, like the special editions, that if I run across those are the ones I always pick up. Paul Rudd will never age. It's a true fact.
It's like Tom Hanks. There for the longest time. He like never looked any different.
I know. Anthony Bridgerton doing the wall. I concur. That was a great scene. We shouldn't stare, and she's just staring. I'm gonna read Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I have only ever read the first Harry Potter. I never continued on.
They're doing a little reread of the whole series on Mr. Francie's Discord. So.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Interesting. I've heard the audio is really good on them, so it might be fun to listen to them on audio. We'll see.
Yeah, I do like the audio. Jim Dale, he does like all these different voices, and he's amazing. So.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, that might be. We'll see. I have to go to knit group. This has been fun. Oh, I'm jealous of knit group.
Oh, it's like, oh, have fun. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What are you doing here with us? Just started Calling the Sun. Ooh, who's that by? Is anyone doing sprints later? I saw that Janelle over at Too Fond of Books, she's starting sprints at 3:00 Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to jump over to another set of sprints, absolutely. I'm not sure if anyone's doing sprints. It's not called Circling the Sun. Okay, Circling the Sun. Who is it by? Yes, I was right. Janelle at Too Fond of Books. Thank you for confirming that for me. Bookish Gems is sprinting at 12 noon. Okay. 13 pages of A Court of... No. I know that's an acronym for one of those books.
Something about Wings and Ruins or something.
Ah, okay.
A Court of Wings and Ruins, maybe?
And Ruins. It looks like it would fit. Yeah. I read A Court of Thorns and Roses, and it wasn't for me.
Yeah, I'm not a Maas fan. I'm not a Sarah J. Maas fan.
It wasn't, the writing was good. I'm just the fit for me. It just wasn't for me. I can't suspend my disbelief enough for like fantasy in that aspect. Give me a good vampire and I'm fine. Fairies, no.
It really depends with fantasy for me. It really depends. I have a hard time getting into fantasy. I like middle grade fantasy better than any of the other fantasy.
And paranormal, like I know Nalini Singh is huge. That urban fantasy for a lot of people, they loved her Shifters and stuff, and it's just not my jam.
Yeah, I've never tried hers. I have wanted to because I do know they're like really popular. But I like Ilona Andrews stuff for urban fantasy. I like her stuff.
I'll have to try hers. Yeah, yeah, and see because I hear about a lot of her and Sherilyn Kenyon as well is huge. I think she's more vampire though. She's more vampire. So
Yeah, I
I
like
don't know
the
why.
Kate Daniel series by Ilona Andrews, and
Okay.
it's like I always say they write it's a writing duo, so they write like these real macho, brooding alpha males that you just want to smack, but she also has women that can like smack them down and take care of them. So the banter
Well that
between the two of them, it's always a lot of fun.
okay, okay. I'll have to look for those for sure. Yeah, I don't know why my brain will let me believe that vampires make more sense than shifters, but I guess it's a thing.
Well, the Kate Daniels is a shifter, so
Hmm. I'll try them. I'll try them and see what I think. What's the one I did read though? Was it Molly Harper? She wrote one called How to Date a Naked Werewolf, and that book was hilarious. And it was a shifter book, but it
I
was
like that
funny.
one. Yeah, I wish she would have wrote more. She only wrote 3 in that series, and I
Yeah.
love them. But I do like her vampire ones, the Jane Jameson series.
Okay.
They're a lot of
Okay.
fun. Molly Harper, she just writes really like slapstick kind of fun.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Yeah. It's paranormal that doesn't take itself too seriously.
if I remember right, Jane Jameson was either a librarian that got turned into a vampire, or she was walking home from the library or something, and
Okay.
she gets turned into a vampire.
Is that not every book person's dream? Like, I can live forever and read all the books.
Yeah, like walking home one night and I get hit
Yeah,
by a car and then somebody turns me into a vampire.
vampire. Yeah. Hate it when that happens. Read 18 pages, almost finished my book. Excellent. Excellent. Made some nice progress on The Shop on Royal Street by Karen White. I like Karen White. She's mostly historical fiction, I think.
I have heard of her, but I have not tried her.
Now, there's Karen White, an author, and then there's also a narrator named Karen White. She does a lot of Susan Mallory's books, and I really like her narration.
I like Karen White. I got to meet her in person once.
Oh, really? Oh, neat. That's awesome. Got a couple more chapters read. Excellent. About another chapter and a half read, but the chapter breaks in this book are very different, so it's hard to tell. Yeah, I hate that. And sometimes I find that too with Kindle books. Like if it's an older book that's been turned into a Kindle book, they don't have the page breaks where they should be. So, and I noticed it too. What book was I listening to on audio? It was one of the older Hannah Swenson's, like book 6. And it's like I'm listening to it in the car. It's like, you have reached the end of disc 1.
I read. I was like, oh,
What?
this is old school.
Please put in disc 2. I'll get right on that. Aliens Bug Hunt is an anthology of short pieces set in the Aliens universe. Oh, okay. And the story we listened to today was unimpressive. Looking forward to more well-known authors. Well, that's interesting. So for those of you who are fans of the Aliens franchise, check that out. A couple years ago, I still have them on audio. I was a big X-Files fan, and there was 2 anthologies that were put out by Jonathan Mayberry, but had various other authors writing, and they were all told in the X-Files universe. So it's like one is called I Wanna Believe, but they had 2 different narrators for Mulder and Scully. It was really, really good if you're an X-Files fan. Speaking
I
of
like the
Mulder.
X-Files, but it's one of those series that I've never finished the whole entire like series.
Really?
I get so far and then I stop and then I don't go back and then I forget. Then I have to start all over again.
Oh, again, yeah.
And I get to a certain part and I stop again and I'm like, really?
Yeah, yeah. Every now and then I'll be like, I'm gonna rewatch through I've watched the entire series probably once or twice. But like a couple years ago, I'm like, I'm gonna watch the whole series. And then they had it streaming somewhere. So I'd start it. And like you said, you'd get so far and then I'd like watch something else. And then they took it away from that streaming service. Then they bring it to a different streaming service. I'd start again from the beginning.
Yeah.
My poor husband, we've watched all of these, he says.
It's like, so we gotta do it again.
Yeah, but they're good. 4% encircling the sun. Excellent. Recently bought my favorite Sweet Valley Special Edition on Thrift Books. The unicorns go Hawaiian.
Uh-oh, she's got it, I bet.
I was lucky enough to find it at a thrift store.
Oh, cool.
Now, the Sweet Valley Twins book, so this wasn't Sweet Valley High, it was Sweet Valley Twins. It's when they were in middle school. Because didn't everybody go to Hawaii in middle school? You know? But these ones are not available on Kindle. And I'm so mad. I wish that they would bring them because they were
So is
such
it like
fun
the
reads.
special editions aren't on Kindle or whatever? Is it the special
Yeah, no,
edition?
they're not. But in general, just this series, the Sweet Valley Twins series, like not the special editions, but the rest of them, I wish that they were available. Yeah, it's kind of annoying, but whatever. Yeah, and that one, oh yeah. I read my mom's old Nancy Drew books, but quickly advanced to gothic romance. I can see that. I can see that. Great catching you. I'm reading and listening to The Henna Artist. I'm at 10%. The Henna Artist was fantastic. I want to read the follow-up to that book. It was a great historical fiction set in India. Half a chapter, made myself a cup of tea and biscuits. Nice. Mr. Francie may be doing sprints on his Discord at 6 p.m. Okay. That's good to know. By Paula McLean. Thank you for that Circling the Sun book. Say hello. Love Vampires and Shifters. My all-time favorite is The Black Dagger Brotherhood by J.R. Ward, which is Vampires in the 7 series by Danica Dark, which is Wolf Shifters. Interesting. Yeah, I think Amy over at Zoe Beck is reading one about honey badgers. I'm just like, what is a honey badger? I'm like, sounds interesting. Only read 8 pages. Had to do something outside. It's nice today. Tomorrow will be even nicer. A high in the 70s. Oh, enjoy. Love the X-Files. Used to write fanfic for the series. Oh, huge Mulder and Scully shipper. Yeah, yeah. I loved Krychek. I know he was the bad guy, but clearly I always had something for the bad boy because he was my favorite. Oh, see, this is what Jonathan Mayberry does then. Is the editor of Alien's Big Hunt or Bug Hunt collection. Oh, that's fun. I'll have to mention that book to my brother. He might get a kick out of it.
Yeah, Jonathan Mayberry does a lot of like horror stuff, like zombies and all that stuff.
And I've read some of his stuff, and it's quite good. Have to admit, I still have to watch the last 2 seasons. So, do you mean the 2 newest seasons, the ones that were brought out? Because I haven't watched those yet either, to be honest. Mayberry's also one of the authors, as well as Heather Graham, Larry Correia, and others. When the stories will get better than the 2 I've heard so far. Heather Graham wrote one of the X-Files for the X-Files collection as well. Storm, are you getting Storms tonight?
I think we're supposed to, but I'm hoping that they're going to be like farther up than we are. I was like, I don't want to push them on somebody else, but I don't want them. But yeah, I think we're supposed to have some storms, but I don't think they're going to be super bad.
Do you get a lot of like extreme, like tornado watches and stuff like that where you are?
Yes.
Okay.
Though it seems like, see, we used to be more in tornado, what we call Tornado Alley, but it seems like I think it's shifted more south of like where we are now, because it seems like the South has been getting hit with like the tornadoes. We haven't had that many this year, but there was one year where I had so much anxiety during the spring because every time you turned around, there was a tornado warning or whatever. And you were like running to like the cellar to get down. It's like, wow. I can't handle this. Every time it was going to storm, I was so afraid it was going to happen.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, no, I couldn't live like that. No, I'm interested in other people's weather because I don't know why, but I am.
Yeah,
we're lucky where we are. I was saying to Elizabeth earlier, we don't even really get a lot of snow because of the way Toronto is situated amongst the Great Lakes. So like east, west, and north of us get nailed, but we're in like this pocket, which is great. But occasionally, like we had a couple tornadoes last summer touchdown north of us. I mean, not that bad. Now, is there a tornado season? Like, is it like hurricane season? Like, are you more likely to get them at a certain time of year?
Yeah, there is a hurricane season. Yeah.
That's what I thought. Interesting. Yeah, the newest X-Files. Never got around to watch them. Yeah, I saw Mulder looking really old, and I'm like, oh, that's unfortunate.
I guess I haven't. I didn't even know they made a new version of X-Files. So.
Yeah, they brought it back for a couple of seasons. State southwest of storm, so our weather likes to head over. Oh, okay, gotcha. That makes sense. The bad weather shifted to Dixie Alley.
Yeah, it's a southern new, I guess.
Oh, that's funny. They are more active during the spring. That's what I assumed. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, we usually get the remnants of hurricanes, or we get, like I said, last year we had a couple small tornadoes touch down north of us, but nothing like you guys see. Like I see it on the news and it's just terrifying. I'd be like you. I'd be freaking out all the time.
Yeah. Watching the weather all the time, looking at my apps on my phone. Like, please let it go away. Keep it up there. We don't want it. Keep it in the sky.
Exactly. Because, like, the thing is like, with a, like, for us, if we got a snowstorm, okay, you're inconvenienced for a few days. Well, you have to, like, but that could be deadly. Like, that's the part that scares me.
Yeah, in 2008, we got hit by a tornado, and it ripped this roof off here. And we had just built the house. We were still working on the house, and it like ripped the roof off, and we had to, and it damaged a lot. I was like, oh, it feels like we're starting all over again.
Oh, no.
It was like, oh.
Well, I didn't like that roof anyway.
Yeah. And we had a tin roof, and I made him put shingles this time. And everybody's like, oh, but tin. I said, no, we had a tin roof, and it ripped everything off, and it rained for 2 days. And there, even though we tried to put tarps on it, the tarps would just sag and the water would run in. Really? And I'm like, no, at least with the shingles, if it like ripped some of the shingles and stuff off or whatever, there was that board underneath or whatever.
Sure. Oh my goodness. Oh no. I keep my very favorite books in plastic storage tubs, always ready for hurricane evacuation in Florida. They're going with me.
Yeah. I know every time it's like tornadoes, it's like, please, no, I got all my books. I don't want them to get damaged. Please.
In Israel, we have 30 degrees Celsius. Oh my Lord. 30 degrees Celsius is what? Double it. So 60, 70, 80, 90 Fahrenheit. Whoa, that's toasty. No, thank you. No, thank you. Spring is the only time I watch the news.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like the 10 o'clock news before you go to bed. It's kind of, we can hear the rumbles. We better watch the news to make sure.
Hello. Yeah, we got hit by a tornado in 2011 and our house was almost, oh, geez. Wow, I can't imagine.
Well, it's like whenever people ask me where I live now, since this one city got put on the map because of the huge like tornado, and I think it was in 2011 too, Joplin, Missouri. It was all over the news.
Yes,
I'm like a half an hour away from there.
Oh, wow. Wow. And that's the scary thing I think about it is that, you know, literally it would hit you, but not your neighbor.
Yeah.
You know, like it seems so random.
There was this nice brick house and there was no bricks left. We're like, where did the bricks go?
Yeah.
Did somebody get a rain of bricks?
Yeah.
It's like, where did they go? Because I mean, there was not a one there. It was like the house was gone.
Wow.
And it's crazy. And then it might miss this little ramshackle little shack over here, but it takes the big brick house.
That's right. Yeah.
So it's like weird.
And I see like on YouTube, like you see these storm chasers, you're like, you're an idiot. You're
Yeah.
a complete idiot. Although
it's coming straight for them and they're videotaping it.
Yeah. Like, gotta stay here and check it out. I'm like, hell no.
My mom used to get so mad at my grandpa because we had our cellar and she was from California, so she wasn't used to this kind of stuff. So as soon as it happened, she was in the cellar. She wanted to be. He's got the door open to the cellar and looking out there. You can hear the tornado sirens, and she's like, "Get in here and shut the door." It would drive her crazy.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Yeah, that is. Yeah, 90 is hot. The weather in Georgia is nice. Georgia's a beautiful state. I've been there before. Joplin was hit 2 days before we were. Wow.
Well, the thing about that was with the church that I go to at that time, every Sunday, the pastor would like us to go eat with them, and a lot of times we'd go to Joplin and eat because there's not a whole lot where we're at, so we'd go up there. But we decided to eat in Neosho, which is another town that's like close. It's where our church was. We decided to eat there, and you could look over to where Joplin is, and it looks so dark and so green, and it's like something is happening there. If we would have went and ate, we would have been right in the middle of everything, because that's where the restaurants that we usually would have been, but we chose to eat somewhere else. So it's like, thank you.
Oh my God. I remember it was, I think it was before I got married. So it's got to be at least 12 years ago. My husband and I were living in a basement apartment, and there was a tornado that hit not far from us. I mean, far enough, but not, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I remember it like being this massive rainstorm, and my husband and I lived in a basement apartment. We came outside later, and I remember I've never seen the sky that color before. Like when you said green, like it was like the creepiest. And Garrett and I were just like freaked out. We've never seen that before. Yeah, but that's, I think, what it was. Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah. And even like after that happened, like they had to warn everybody that they were going to run a tornado siren to, like, you know, to test the tornado sirens, because they had so much anxiety because of getting hit with that big tornado, that they would have to like we're going to be testing this stuff so that they wouldn't start freaking out because of it.
Wow. Oh, that's scary. That's scary. Yeah, 8 to 10 months of summer is too much. We have 8 to 10 months of winter, so
I would like just 60s and 70s all year long.
Give me fall. Give me fall the whole time. You know?
As long if without the rain, I wouldn't mind. It's the same with like spring. It's like the last 2 weeks we've had rain. Like the other day, like a town beside us got like 6 inches of rain all in one go. And it's like, it's just rain, and it's like, okay, I'm done with the rain. So we had one day off yesterday, and we've had this today off, and then tonight we got storms again. So more rain. It's like,
oh my gosh.
And then Sunday all day is supposed to be rain. So
oh yeah, no, we've had wind, like major wind, like I think in miles it was something like 60 mile per hour winds. And I was driving home from work yesterday, and like if I let go of the wheel, the whole car is doing this. Yeah. You know, and I'm like, okay, just get me home.
We have 40 to 40 mile an hour winds right now.
Wow. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. No, thank you. But then I've heard that summer's supposed to be ridiculously hot here because of how cold this winter was, and I'm just like, I don't want that either.
Yeah, in Missouri, it's really hit or miss. It's like we either have a really hot summer, or we have like last year. It rained almost all summer. I was like, I've never seen this before. I was so sick of rain. My garden didn't do hardly anything because it was so saturated and stuff. It's like, and then we could have one where it's like we have a drought for like 2 months or something. It's never do nothing. Yeah.
We were laughing about that because, you know, you can't tell up here what the weather's going to be like. And so Canada Day, which is the 1st of July, so just before your guys' 4th of July. Anyway, it's the 1st of July. I used to go away, and one year we went away to a trailer at a lake. It was so cold we had the heat on, and we're like wearing sweatshirts like in the trailer. The next year it was so hot we were swimming in the lake. I'm like, can you make up your mind? How am I supposed to pack for this?
Well, it's like last year I had my garden planted already by now. I haven't even done anything yet. Yep. But last year I had it all planted and everything, and then it came like this freak snowstorm and got 22 degrees, and it froze, the ground froze, and there went all my stuff. I'm like,
oh no,
are you serious? Yeah, I think 2 plants survived. And I even tried to cover them with plastic, but yeah, it didn't. Nope, it ruined everything. And so this year I'm like, you know what? Forget it. I'm not starting until May.
I can remember my grandmother would plant her stuff in like a planter. And I remember her, like at this time of year, would go outside at night and bring them in so that nothing would happen to them. And
I have a little greenhouse downstairs in the utility room that I have a little light on, and I have some down there, and they're still in there. I'm like, you ain't getting out until
you're not going out yet. Nope,
going out yet.
Our winters are pretty much long fall these days. We had snow during the night, and it was gone within a few hours. Become very soft, and our summer's hot but short. Oh, Yeah, the humidity I cannot take.
My favorite kind of snow is whenever it's gone the next day.
See, I'm weird and I love snow. Like when we got hit in January with that snowstorm, that's the first one that we hadn't seen snow like that in a decade. And I was like, it was past the tires in my car. And I was just standing outside going, this is so pretty.
I always
Maybe
say
because I
I
don't have
think
to
it's
do
pretty
anything.
as long as it's somewhere else.
Yeah, it's lovely to look at. Snow on Monday, 82 and sunny today. Yeah, that's typical weather. Cloudy, sunny, and windy in England. My manager is from England, and it's been, like you said, it's been raining all week. She came into our office on Wednesday. She looked at us, she goes, "Why did I leave England? Like, it's supposed to be nicer here." It was so cold this winter. Our winters don't last long, though. February is when it gets active with snow and ice. Yeah, we get snow and ice I could do without. But anyway, everybody, that was fun. Thank you for joining, Storm.
Yes, it was fun, even though I only got to join for a little bit.
That's okay. That's okay. But Tiffany will be back to normal this week, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So she's gonna have sprints on Wednesday. You do them on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. And then I'll be back and I think Tiffany's gonna do them next Saturday, and then I'll do them later on Saturday.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Okay. Very good.
And is it next Saturday whenever you're doing the one about the book?
Yes, we're gonna talk about it during the sprints, during the live at 6:00. Yeah. Yeah. That's when we'll talk about that. So if you want to join us for that, I think Elizabeth's gonna be on for it as well.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
Okay, cool. Anything good coming up on your channel this week? Because I know you guys always ask that too.
Well, I do have my my weekly vlog, though. I don't think it's going to be much because I didn't read very much, but it might be shorter than normal. I'm like, I have some books. Maybe I should do a book haul in it and fill in.
I did that. Yep, that absolutely, totally. We want to see the books.
But yeah, so I have that, and I do have a book haul that I need to edit so that I can get it up, and I haven't done it yet.
Ooh. I might have to go to the thrift store now and just look around, see what I can find. Books.
Went into this one place and I didn't find anything to grab that I might want to resell. I said, but I'll make it worth my while. So I went over and got this book, and this one looks good.
Yeah.
A couple books.
Love it. Love it. Why not make it worth your while?
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.